everyone, Ivy again, and today is day 11 out of the 30 Facebook Lives of 30 days. Actually, I have to thank Kim for that because yesterday I thought it was day 9, but it was actually day 10, so yes! So how many do I have left? 19 more, yay! Okay, so today I want to talk about meditation because the first, letter of the acronym of S.A.A.V.E.R.S is S, which means silence. So I started meditating when I was 19, so that was quite a long time ago, and I've just seen the benefits of meditation since I started meditating, really. I mean, you know, you become so much more aware and mindful of your thoughts and feelings. You know, you allow, and I guess because when you're mindful of your thoughts and feelings, then you're able to change your thought patterns. And, you know, when you're meditating, you will have thoughts that come up all the time. And, I mean, you know, I've had a couple of people ask me, oh, you know, what happens when, I mean, I have a lot of thoughts, and, you know, the main thing about meditating is not to have thoughts. Well, no, you know, it's normal to have thoughts because we're so used to thinking all the time that we are going to have thoughts, especially when we're trying to be still. And I guess when that happens, the point of meditation is to come back to an anchor point, or something that you sort of come back to. So for example, a lot of people use their breaths. So when you start to think about something, rather than follow it and go, oh yeah, I'm hungry, and then the next thought might be, oh, I wonder what sort of food I might have tonight for dinner, and then your next thought might be, oh, you know, I would like some fried chicken, or whatever it is you're thinking. And then your thought would be, oh, where can I get it? You know, so rather than follow those thoughts and continue on with those thoughts, what happens in meditation is that when you realize those thoughts, so when you realize, okay, I'm hungry, you sort of go, okay, well, now I'm realizing my thoughts, I need to get back to my breath, or I need to get back to whatever I'm using to anchor my meditation with. So, you know, a couple of meditation techniques would be breathing, you know, breathing in and out using the breath as your anchor. You can chant, and actually that's one that my mom and dad taught me since I was a really little girl, and I guess that's been a really good anchor for me, and that's been a really good way of, I guess, introducing meditation, because I'm chanting as soon as I felt scared, or as soon as I felt, I don't know, like angry or whatever it is, I would start chanting. And even though I'm not sitting down and, you know, meditating, I was then getting back to the, you know, my normacy of, okay, this is how I'm feeling, this is what you know, this is why I'm feeling it, and it really helps. So chanting is a really good one. You know, a lot of us, we can't sit still. I mean, I find that walking meditation really helps. So I remember going up to base camp, Everest base camp, and I remember that the one thing that actually got me through base camp was actually just knowing that every step I take. Hi Lisa, thank you so much for your message. Yes, I am happy. I hope you are as well. And I hope school's treating you really well. Yeah, so what I was saying was that walking meditation allows you to realize that, you know, every step you take is a step closer to your end goal. So then you're not thinking of anything, you're just thinking of the next step, and the next step, and the next step. You don't know where that end goal is and how far it is, but you know that the next step is going to take you closer to it. And so all you're thinking is about the next step. And you know, most people like guided meditations. I know Pete likes guided meditations, Steve uses guided meditations, and I sometimes use guided meditation. So some of the apps that we use are, you know, apps like Calm, and Insight Timer, and Pete mentioned Headspace. I personally like Insight Timer because it has a lot of well, I mean, most of the meditations inside are actually free, and it also has a lot of, it's categorized. So there would be meditations for, I guess, happiness. There'd be meditation for calm. There would be meditation for anxiety. So you can really sort of hone in on the specific meditation that you want. So that's a really good one. So how do we develop this sort of meditation or mindfulness for children? I mean, especially with young children, they're little human beings that fidget a lot, and they like to move a lot. So a sitting meditation doesn't really work for them. So I do a lot of walking just around in circles in my classroom. Sometimes I will try and do a sitting meditation, but I'll always use a meditation app for children. So like a Calm app, the Calm app, which actually has some meditation for children. But it won't be for very long. It would probably be just for 5 minutes tops. Other ways that I develop mindfulness with children are actually, mindfulness colouring in. I mean, that not only develops mindfulness, but it also develops fine motor skills and concentration. Because whilst they're colouring in, I would then put on some classical music. I would then teach them how this colouring in exercise has to how it has to all happen. So they have to be quiet. They have to their colouring in has to, I mean, a lot of them, the what is it called, mindfulness colouring in, there's lots of little boxes that they have to colour in. So even if it's a really cute dragon, there would be lots of different lines that they would have to colour in. So to use different colours for each line, for example, and not to just scribble through the lines. And so what you're doing is you're really allowing them to concentrate, allowing them to colour inside the lines, allowing them to really concentrate on actually colouring inside the lines and not going out of it. So a lot of and that creates the mindfulness because they're thinking, okay, well, these are the rules, and so these are the things that I have to follow to be mindful, and and that concentration really helps. I mean, Twinkle is a great resource for you to actually download some mindfulness colouring in pages. Another one, I mean, like that sometimes I use with my kids is something that I call spidey senses. So with Spider-Man, his senses are heightened, and so what we teach them when we teach science is that there are 5 senses, and to really, whenever we do something, to be very mindful of, how that, looks and feels, and what else, tastes, and smells, and what's the last one? What have I forgotten? Okay, yeah, but the 5 senses. And a great one to do, a great exercise to do is when they're eating, ask them, how does it feel when it touches your tongue? How does it smell like? What does it taste like? How does it feel on your hands just before you put it into your mouth? So those are things that you can do with your children, because it brings them back to mindfulness. It brings them back to those really small details of the food that they're eating. Another thing you could do is, if you want, drawing is a great thing to do with when developing mindfulness. So what you can do is just put, a nice flower in front of them, or a nice leaf in front of them and ask them to draw everything that they see on the leaf, and that includes all those little lines, or you know, if they can see the you know, if they can feel the flower or have a look at the stem, there's usually like furs on it, so draw those things. So being really mindful of that, and drawing that. And I guess like as the child gets older, they could be drawing, you know, landscapes, and really really focusing on, you know, what they can see, that every detail that they can see in the landscape that they're drawing. So that's something that I've done with my kids as well. I love putting classical music in the classroom, especially when they're doing creative writing. So in any of my English lessons, when they're doing creative writing, I usually put on some piano music or some guitar music, or anything that allows their, you know, their right brain to be tapped into, and to allow their creativity to flow. Because when they're in that I guess that mode, you know, they're developing concentration. So obviously the music really helps, and to allow them to sort of engage in that flow of what they're thinking in their head, and how they're going to relate that onto paper and transfer that onto paper. And lastly, another tip that I'd like to share with you is, you know, just go, you know, when you're going for a walk, don't just, you know, call it a walk. Maybe say that you're going for a safari walk, you know, because and so you're turning a normal walk into something really exciting and really adventurous for them. And what you're going to be doing on this walk is you're going to be getting them to find insects or find animals that are able to walk and crawl or swim, or, you know, fly, or even, I don't know, if they're, you know, whatever sounds they're making. So you're really trying to heighten their senses, and yeah, allowing them to be more mindful about their body, their senses, their, you know, the way that they look and see things, and the way that they hear things, the way that they can feel things. I mean, so yeah, I hope today's today's little talk about meditation really helps. And yeah, good luck with how you implement it within your within your child's day. Okay, thanks. Bye.